tragedy has struck our Breckland life. Our very useful tractor trailer that we use towed behind our garden tractors has suffered a puncture, but not just a puncture, a total and utter blowout. So you could see a slight problem there, more than just what you could fix with a little bit of a puncture repair kit. And this is the remaining original tyre, so we're going to have to replace it. So you can see all the things that we're going to use. So new tyre and inner tube, no expense spared off Amazon, and then various tools. So these are old flat end screwdrivers. Not that I ever use them as screwdrivers, but as Helen will tell you, whenever we go to a car boot, that's what I look for and buy them for 50p each, because they're great bodgers, pry bars, whackers, not screwdrivers, and in this case they're going to be used as tyre levers. The thing is, they've got flat ends on them, so they're fairly smooth, so there's less risk of you puncturing the inner tube. And then you'll see what I'm going to use the mole grips for as well, so they're handy, and it's always useful to have a pair of pliers out, just in case. And I've got my faithful Joe Blow foot pump and some grease, and to lube up the wheel when we put it back on. Since we've got the wheel off, we might as well lube it. So first step is just to pull this pin out, and to my shame I can't remember what it's called. I've just got to yank it out if I can. But there we go. And then obviously there's just two retaining washers, I think, if I remember rightly. They should just, oh hello, there we go, lifts off. There's another washer underneath, so it's a very simple mechanism. Okay, so what we're now doing here is just getting the old tyre off, which normally isn't too bad, except, come on, that's it, there we go. Once you've got a little bit off, then you're laughing really. That's it. That's one side off. You'll just be able to pull it through now, actually, especially since it's an old tyre. Or maybe not. Oh yeah, here it comes. And actually it's nice, it's a warm day because it's softer than the rubber, so you can see the damage there. It's quite substantial. So that's for the bin, and look at the tube as well. Because I think what happened is that the tyre had got a little bulge, and you can only pump the inner tubes up to high pressure because the tyre is retaining the rubber, otherwise the tubes burst. And so I think what's happened is that bubble's burst, and then that's allowed the inner tube to burst, and it's damaged the tyre further. So this too is for the scrap heap. I sometimes keep them because you can make patches out of the rubber for other things, but I've got a whole box full. So there we go. So there's a little wheel. Just check the rim's got nothing sharp on it. That's in good nick. So, and this is where you now enter the fiddly bit, which is getting the new tyre and inner tube on. So this is the new tyre. First of all, to put on across one bead if I can. He said this is always the fiddly bit. It's going to be better if I can put something like that there to hold that. That's better. This is always the fiddly bit, darling. Once we get it on the first bead, then we're laughing. So this is where the mole grips come in handy. They stop the bit that you put on coming off as you put pressure on it for the next bit. There we go. So that's good. That's another bit on. I think that might be the good. Yes, there we go. Handy.
So this is the inner tube.
I think it goes that way. Yes. So what you've got here is, it's called a bent stem valve. So as you can see, it's got a bend in it, whereas the old tube had got a straight stem. And the trouble is that with the straight stems, when you're trying to fit them, they have a nasty habit of falling back through the hole into the wheel. They're less likely to do that with a bent stem. And that's also why I've got these small mole grips, because I grip it with the mole grips as I'm doing it. That's it. going to do is just gently hold on to this with a set of mole grips so it can't then fall back through the hole, you see. And got to start feeding the inner tube into the wheel, which is also quite fiddly, especially with a new tyre, because it's like a new pair of shoes, it's quite stiff. And it can be fiddly as heck sometimes. Oh, okay, okay, take it back, that's better. Right, hey, look at that. Right, so now what we've got to do is to start to put this back on. And this is where having the little pairs of mole grips are good again, because you can put them on the rim, and then as you put pressure on to put the rest of the bead on, it doesn't sort of undo behind you, in theory. So in the UK these things are called mole grips. In America they call them vice grips. Either way, they're pretty handy bits of kit. On you go, on you go, on you go, on you go. Yes. So we are progressing. Oh, that needs a bit more. So all my vice grips are really cheap, bought off eBay normally, but they do the job. I have broken a few pairs. Oh, there we go. It's on. How about that? Look at that.
Very good.
Yep. Right, so this is the bit that could get really frustrating, right? Is when the damn thing goes back inside the wheel. How you just struggled like mad to get it on, and then so what I do is now connect up the Joe Blow pump to that and see if we can put a couple of pumps in it. So we should be getting an inflated wheel now. Couple more. No more than 20, I think. How? That will do. Dust cap to go on, thank you. So we should have a nice bouncy wheel now. Hey! So let's just put a little bit of grease on the axle while we're here. How? Doesn't show much wear though actually, and the bearing races seem okay. They're sealed units I think, so I'm not really going to get much grease in there. Right. Put the washer back on. Look at that. Right. That's it. There we go. It's on mine, that's not going to go anywhere now, hon.
Okay.
Perfect. I've got to road test it. Right. Let's now pump that out.